With the new RSI Mantis quantum drive enforcement mechanic, the ability to pull ships out of quantum is now in the player's hands. But once you have the ship out of quantum, what prevents them from just speeding away to get out of the net? Right now, the answer is nothing, and this is certainly a role that needs to be filled. With the nearly unified speed caps introduced in patch 3.5, the current interceptor ships don't really have anything that defines them as interceptors anymore. Giving these ships the ability to hold an interdicted ship out of high-speed travel would give them meaning again. To achieve this, some changes to the game's mechanics would have to be made. First, there is currently no mechanic that exists which allows or disallows a ship to be at high speed, apart from having enough fuel to accelerate. One way of creating interception mechanics would involve shields and power from the power plant. Shield hardening was an introduced mechanic many patches ago, and currently requires the pilot to use the mouse to interact with their MFDs to activate it, leaving it essentially unused. As part of my suggestion, for the ships to be able to travel at high speed, their shields would have to be in an overpowered, hardened state. Hardening could only occur when the shields are completely up at full strength and would automatically kick in when flying at speeds above the ship's maximum rated SCM speed. Shield hardening would protect from damage from debris such as micrometeorites and lore. Once the ship's speed is greater than SCM, nearly all available power would be diverted from the power plant above the minimum required for your thrusters into the shields, hardening them. If shields were low from combat or other actions, they would have to recharge before hardening could occur. The knock-on effect of this power requirement is that there would not be enough power for your thrusters to allow for high acceleration manoeuvring or operation of weapons, making combat at high speed virtually impossible, or at least impractical. This behaviour is already in the game where your ability to change your velocity vector is reduced at high speeds. The need to actively manage the power in an interceptor dovetails with the Mantis and its requirement to manage power to keep the quantum interdiction device online as well. Distortion weapons' functional effects would be changed to cause power disruption, where each hit on the defending ship would effectively cause a power brownout. Each consecutive hit would reduce the available power further. The resulting brownout would reduce the available power for the shields and other systems, and if the interceptor pilot is accurate enough, would be able to bring the shield hardening offline. Where other weapons would find it difficult to get through shields that are hardened, the distortion weapons would not, as they do not cause direct damage but instead power disruption. This would be a unique function of those weapons to give them a point of difference to an EMP, which completely shuts down power but requires the ship to be next to their target. Interceptors come into their own with excellent acceleration from their main engines, stock-equipped lower power-consuming shields and coolers, along with standard fit of distortion weapons. The lower power draw components would give the interceptor enough power remaining to not only harden its shields for higher than SCM speeds, but also still be able to fire their low power weapons while at speed. Distortion weapons would be the logical choice for interceptors to give them the capability to disrupt power plant output, reducing the power available for the shield so that hardening cannot be maintained. The pilot of the defending ship has a choice: continue to run and risk damage to the hull and components from debris damage, or slow down and fight. The balance trade-off for the low power components that would come stock on interceptors would be significant. Shields would only regenerate slowly or have a lower health pool in exchange for the low power draw during hardening. Weapons would have a lower firepower. These downsides could give the defender an opportunity to kill an overzealous interceptor pilot with target fixation and escape. With a system like this, players would be encouraged to fight at lower speeds than we currently see in 3.6, while also giving interceptors a place. This is only one idea how to make interceptors more useful and help to balance out problems involved with high-speed combat, and I am sure there are many more being considered by CIG and the community at large. My proposal could help solve some of the issues currently facing combat with high speed, while also making interceptors meaningful. Good hunting, pilots.